Okay, our beloveds, this is another message for another day. You are finding that there is a pattern in the rhythm of life these days. You have a series of good days followed by a series of what you would define as bad days, where more challenges and stressors come up, where you have to problem solve or think outside of the box, or alternatively, get filled with rage and frustration at the uncertainty, the inhospitability, and the unfairness of life. But either way, you go through the highs and the lows of the rhythms of life. You will find that when you step back from the emotion or feeling of I am being smiled upon by God versus I am being punished by God, to a simple respect for things are flowing easily right now versus things are not flowing easily right now, and what can I do about it? Those two constructs are vastly different than the initial one, which is that you are being blessed or punished. And when you can get into that mindset, the second one of this is just life and what it brings you, and if you can set aside the judgment of what you're going through and merely accept it as a fact of life, that you will have moments where you are challenged, and it is to teach you something, to teach you to either stand up and fight for what you want, or alternatively to say the universe appears not to be blessing this particular path that I'm going on, and let me find a different solution, and only you can determine what the right approach is for you, and then you pursue that path. You will see that moving into this mindset allows much flow and ease even during the difficult moments, because you will simply see it as a loving challenge for how can I problem solve, or how can I choose that this is not the right path and the universe has closed this door in order to guide me to a different door that will open shortly. How do you determine that in these new energies when they are so vastly from the old energies where you always pushed until the door finally broke open, making it a guaranteed success from the perspective of I prevailed. This is not for all of you, but for certain ones of you who use this as your manner of moving forward in life by forcing the door to open with a large tree trunk, thereby damaging or obliterating anything and everything in its path. But what if we have closed that door because it is meant to be closed, because there are greater blessings to be found elsewhere? And if you continue to put all of your effort into this one activity, you will be so depleted at the end, whereas if you had chosen a different path and just acknowledged that this closed door was guiding you elsewhere, you would have more resiliency and more energy and honestly a better attitude, because you would realize that that closed door was a gift to tell you to move in a new direction. So what we can tell you is that when you push versus when we pull, right? When you push through to your end goal versus where we pull you to our or the collective's desired end goal, you will find greater satisfaction in the latter, because it is universally designed versus one where you choose to force a particular hat on your head that maybe is no longer a good fit. And then you will wear that hat for a while, and then you will realize, I don't really like this hat. I don't wish to wear this hat. And you will set it aside to find a different hat. But what if you, right at the outset, said that door is closed, therefore that means that this hat is not for me. I will continue to move forward to make this happen, but not beyond what is reasonable, because maybe there is another opportunity, and I will begin to seek those as well to see if the universe is guiding me elsewhere. So this is one of the bigger shifts that we want the universe to focus on. And the universe being you and all of the collective here. That when you have chosen a path that is no longer supported by the universe, then it is the universe telling you we have something even better in store. And trusting and acknowledging and allowing those energies to flow for your highest good and the collective highest good. But it is not the chosen path for those of you who are the type A's as well as those who are just simply stubborn. Stubborn because you want what you want at all costs, and sometimes you burn down the whole village in order to get that one thing that you want so much. But we digress. You will see in the coming months and years how the energies that pull you forward will lead you to greener pastures than the energies that you push forward, which oftentimes take you off of a cliff without your transformative wings to take you to the other side where your dreams are found, but instead allow you to plummet to the bottom of the chasm and allow you to splat, leaving you dazed and figuring out what the heck went wrong and how you now find your way out of this huge chasm, which has no way to get back up to the top. And you will feel even more defeated. And it's not that you cannot do this. Many of you are and will continue, but we're just explaining to you the difficulty in problem solving that you have found when you find yourself at the bottom of this chasm, because there are virtually no options other than surrender to get you back to the top. And many of you are not interested in surrender and therefore will choose to walk in the bottom of this chasm for the remainder of your life, being in the dark and in the cold and the shadows without any remembrance or reminder of what life was like when you were at the top and the sun smiled on you and reminded you of what it feels like to be in the presence of the light. And if you continue to walk in the bottom of the chasm, that is your choice. And when you transition, you will see your life's events and will hopefully recall what you came here to do, so that in your next iteration, you will try once again and hopefully succeed in the journey to learn to allow us to pull you instead of pushing from this point forward. It's that simple. Nothing more, nothing less. Just a different energetic imprint. You are no longer a train that is coal-fired. It is more where there's a magnet up ahead of you that is literally propelling you forward with no action on your part other than maybe breathing, sitting and looking out the window and watching nature go by. dining in the dining car, enjoying some time with your friends, having wonderful conversations, and when the train does stop, here and there to step out, smell the fresh air, look at the scenery, and then get back into the train as we pull you to your desired end destination. We know that most of you cannot even begin to understand or feel the energy of which we speak, but just trust that a new energy is here, and you will, with time, begin to understand what this really looks like. And that is that the divine will guide you through the remainder of your days if you so allow us to, which is through that pulling you forward instead of you having to do the hard work of shoveling the coal into the engine to propel it forward, thereby never giving you a moment of rest or respite. It's just work, 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 work to keep this motor moving so that you can move forward to your desired destination, which is death. So, we hope that most of you, if not all of you, will hear this message in the vibration that it is intended, which is that you are just simply trying too hard to make things happen that are not meant to happen at this time in that manner. Because if it were, you wouldn't have to try so hard, because we would literally be pulling you there, letting you know that this is the desired path of the universe. It is literally that simple. So, sit back and watch the scenery more and work less. That's our message today. And so it is. Namaste.